Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 1, 2, 3, testing. So, I'm back from my brief break. Before I start my book review, let me give you a background on the author. So, the title of the book is Ramona. The name of the author is Helen Hunt Jackson. So, how did she get her name from Helen Maria Fiske? She was born in Amherst, Massachusetts, 1830. Her father was a professor at Amherst College. 14 years later, her mother passed away. 3 years after that, her father passed away. Her father left her enough money for her education, and her uncle took over her care, as well as her sister. Both of her brothers passed away, one in 1829, the other in 1833. Now, 1852, she married a Captain Edward Bissell Hunt, so her name became Helen Hunt. They had 2 sons. Both of them passed away. In 1866, her literary career began with her first successful poem. 1872, she visited California for the first time. Winter of 1873-1874, she stayed in Colorado, recovering from tuberculosis. There she met and married a wealthy banker and a radio account executive, William Sharpless Jackson, hence her name, Helen. Her parents gave her that name. Hunt, her first husband's last name. Jackson, her new husband's last name. In 1879, she became an activist for Native Americans after listening to Chief Standing Bear from the Ponca Nation. She started investigating and publicizing government misconduct, circulated petitions, raised money, and wrote letters to the New York Times. She exposed the government's violation of treaties with American Indian tribes. She documented the corruption of Indian agents, military officers, and settlers who encroached and stole the reserved Indian land. After attending Chief Standing Bear's lecture, she wrote the book, A Century of Dishonor, published in 1881. For respite, she went to Southern California. In Los Angeles, she talked with the former mayor, Don Antonio Coronel. He told her what happened to the indigenous Californians after 1833. Now, this is the context that you need to know what happened here. 1821, Mexico became free from Spain. However, Mexico was afraid of Spain's influence on California because California missions are loyal to Spain. As a result, 1833, Mexico's Congress passed the Secularization Act. In this act, ownership of the missions was transferred from the Franciscan order to the government of Mexico. Religious services ended. Most priests were left the province. Buildings were ransacked, smash and grab, left to ruin. Rather than give farmland back to the indigenous Californians, it was either stolen or given away in large grants called ranchos. Although indigenous Californians were emancipated from the missions and closed the monasterios, they were left landless and ended up working at the ranchos. So under the control of Mexico, indigenous Californians were allowed to stay on the land. After 1848, the United States of America took over. The new government ignored the mission Indian occupancy claims. 1852, the indigenous California population dropped from 15,000 to less than 4,000. Most of them moved to Mexico. So after hearing about this, Jackson was inspired to act and became Interior Department agent. Her job was to visit the mission Indians, ascertain the location and condition of bands, determine what lands can be purchased for their use. She used an Indian agent to help her travel to Southern California, document the conditions. She hired a law firm to protect the rights of a family of the Saboda Nation facing disposition of their land at the foot of the San Jacinto Mountains. 1883, she completed her 56-page report. A bill with the recommendations died in the House of Representatives. She returned to New York. It took her 3 months to write this book. When she lived in Colorado, she wrote a poem about the Cheyenne Mountain. During her final years, she was cared for by a fellow writer, Flora Haynes Longhead. Her last letter was written to President Cleveland, thanking him for lifting the burden of infamy and righting the wrongs of Native Americans. So next video, I'm going to start my book review. Questions, comments, constructive criticisms, asking for clarifications, let me know. And I shall see you next time. Take care.